I recently got an email from a viewer, Mike in Chicago, and he writes, "Hi John, I really enjoyed your YouTube content on freeze drying. Unfortunately, it's just blah blah. But he thinks his family recipe might work well. We call it chicken supreme. I have also used full chicken breast in the crock pot like I've seen you do and just pull it when it's done." So here's his recipe. He gave me his recipe for chicken supreme and it sounded really good. That's a plus for me. And easy. I like that. And it just sounds delicious. So I think, thank you Mike in Chicago, we're going to throw this together and this will be my next poucho noodle. And I think that's a good idea that, you know, if any of my other viewers out there, if you have a recipe that you want me to try or you'd like to see me to do and freeze dry, send it on in. I'll give you a shout out and we'll try your recipe. Now, I will put a caveat on that. I don't do liver or tofu or anything like that, but pretty much anything else goes. And yeah, that'd be a great idea. Because I'm running out of ideas of what to cook anyway. So here we go, Mike in Chicago. We're going to put this together. Okay, he calls for 1 pound of chicken breast cut into 1-inch pieces. And what I have here, chicken breasts were more expensive than the chicken tenders, which is basically chicken breast anyway. So we're tripling his recipe, so instead of 1 pound I got 3 pounds of chicken breast. We're going to dice up and throw into the crock pot. Alright, that's the chicken tenders in there. 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, so we got 3 cans. One 1/2 cup diced onions, so I got a 1.5 cups diced onions here. And 1 cup of milk. 1 cup of milk times 3. It's 3 cups of milk, if my math is correct. Which it most surely is. 4 strips of cooked bacon. Where's my bacon? It's right here. So what I did here was I have one of those bacon pans that you can bake your oven in. Bake your bacon in the oven and it drains all the fat off of it. So I used that and baked it in the oven until it was nice and crispy. I've got it on this paper towels and I'm just trying to get all the grease I can out of that. And we'll just add these crumbled up into our crock pot. Alright, let's get that in the camera so you can see it. So there we have it all mixed into the crock pot. Salt and pepper to taste. Well, I don't know. A little bit more, a bit much there. Came out a little bit. A bit of salt. Let's give that a mix. Now I'm not sure. His recipes put all the ingredients in the crock pot, place cover on crock, and set for low for 4 to 6 hours. Now I'm not sure, because he does talk about chicken breast cut up, whether that was cooked chicken breast. And besides that, I normally run my crock pot for 8 hours anyway on low. So we're going to put that on low. We're going to cook cook that for 8 hours. I'll see you in 8 hours. Alright, that has been cooking for 7 hours, and believe me, it smells delicious. Let's give that a stir. One of my other viewers said, why don't I put my noodles in with whatever I'm making? So we are going to try that today. What I got here is they come in packs of 6 or 12. So I thought I'll put these in there. I might have to add some water or something, I don't know. At least 5 packs of these. That's what I do normally for my meals. There's 5 packs. Let's mix that up. Get those into the liquid. Let's see how they can come back. Like this, it should be alright. I don't see why not. I'm going to let these soak for a few minutes and I'll be right back. So that's been going for about 4 minutes, which is what I would use in my rehydration process for the noodles. They seem to have come back alright. So bonus is, because the way I was traying them up and bagging them, I could only use 5 of my 6 packs that come in a container. Now I can go ahead and add my 6th one, I think. So we'll let that sit a few more minutes. Get them buried. Let them absorb some of that liquid. And we'll be ready to tray that up. So I'll see you in about 5 minutes. Just to let those noodles absorb. And we'll get this trayed up. Alright, let's go. Those noodles that came out nice and soft. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Yeah. And it smells and looks delicious. So we're going to shoot for 2.5 pounds for a tray. And since we aren't going to do a separate tray with our noodles, we're going to do 3 trays because we still need the 6 squares, or 3 squares per meal pouch. Let's see if we got enough. Now Mike, when he serves this with spaghetti noodles, but he thought it might make a good poucho noodle with ramen. And judging from the looks of it, I think he's right. Alright, get my handy dandy dividers that are set up in tins. Get those cut into 10 portions, 10 squares, like that, and move on to the next one. Zero that. Another 2.5 pounds coming up. Alright, I got 2.15. So not quite 2.5 pounds, which means no leftovers for John tonight. So I just have to imagine how great this tastes, because it sure smells good and looks good. Those big chunks of chicken in there, onions, cream of mushroom soup. It just looks delicious. There you have it. 3 trays of chicken supreme. Nothing left over, so those measurements are great if you want to make a full 3 trays in the medium Harvest Right freeze dryer, which is what I like to do, because I like to use that 4th slot for my tests or my sweets, or just experimenting, or milk. Or I always got something to put in that 4th slot. And 3 trays is perfect for 10 meals, because each bag will get 3 squares, and there's 30 squares there. So we will let this cool down. Once it's cooled down, I'll transfer it to my freezer, get it frozen solid, and then we'll put it into the freeze dryer. Next time you see this, it'll be coming out of the freeze dryer. I'll see you then. Alrighty, here's my chicken supreme. Came out looking pretty nice. We ran that in the freeze dryer for about 40 hours, which is my standard run time for everything. That's just what I do. I don't have to fuss around with it. I just pretty much know it's going to be dry by then. Finishing off the cutting here, so make it easier to package. Alright. So we got our meal pouches all labeled up. And since the noodles are incorporated with the sauce, instead of putting 2 squares plus the noodles, I'm going to put 3 squares in each pouch. 1, 2, and 3. Set that off to the side. Alright, we'll get these all pouched up, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we have our 10 pouches with 3 squares in each one. So now we are going to put in our O2 absorbers. I get my O2 absorbers from topmylar.com, and I like them in packs of 10, because we obviously do 10 mils every freeze dryer load, so it's just very convenient for me. Well, they stopped selling the 300cc O2 absorbers in packs of 10, but they still sell the 500cc's in packs of 10, so I just upped it to the 500s for the convenience. I think you can get the 300s in packs of 20 if that's what you want, but I'm just going to go with the 500s. So we'll drop a O2 absorber in each one of these. In my case, it's a 500 cc. Go, nothing left over, so I know everyone's got a O2 absorber in it, and no O2 absorbers to try and save. So, let's get these vacuum sealed up. On my Avid Armor Mini Ultra, I put it on vacuum level 1 and seal time of 3, which is the max on that. Press start. So I'll get these all packaged up and I'll be right back. Alright, there we have last one. Now just out of camera, as I've been vacuum doing these, I've also been putting on my insurance seal using my other sealer like such. That's just to make sure that we got a great seal and they'll last 20 years, I hope. Alright, let this cool down. We'll get this all cleaned up and we'll come back and do a taste test. I'll see you then. Okay, I'm getting ready to go out and do my shop for the next videos, and I figure I better get something in my belly because I always end up spending too much money when I go hungry. So that's a great time to test these Chicken Supreme noodles. Open. What it looks like on the inside. Let's take out our O2 absorber, and my standard go-to has been 3/4 of a cup. I don't know if that's going to change because we had the noodles in with it instead of separately, but we'll just go ahead and try it. 3/4 of a cup of hot water out of my Keurig. Looks about right. Put that all into the water as best we can. Alright. It doesn't look like enough water, does it? We'll see. I hate to mess up a formula. Alright, so we got that sealed. We'll let that sit for 2 minutes and I'll be right back. Alrighty, there's our first 2 minutes. Now is when we'll decide whether we need to add more water to that or not. Okay. We are definitely going to have to add more water to that. So yeah. Let's add that other 1/4 of a cup. That'll make it 1 cup of hot water. A good stir. And all those pieces that didn't have any moisture on them at all into the sauce. Sneak peek, that's good. Ziplock that shut. sit for another 2 minutes. I'll see you in 2 minutes. Alright, that's been another 2 minutes. So I want to give you a full disclosure on this. Why did I use this particular pouch? You probably can't see it, but my noodles poked a very small hole there on the 7mm Mylar bag when I vacuum sealed it. That's why you should always, if you vacuum seal, always leave your pouches out for a day or two just to make sure that they maintain their vacuum. A good indicator, that's a great indicator, because if it loses its vacuum, you've got a leak somewhere. So if we hadn't vacuumed it, I might not have poked a hole, number one, but number two, I might not, if I did poke a hole, I wouldn't know it was there, because the vacuum, there's no vacuum, so I can't really tell if it's leaking or not. So just a little tip there. If you vacuum seal your bags, leave them out for a day or two and make sure that they've maintained their vacuum. That miniature little hole had let out off the vacuum. So we've had that in there for a total of 4 minutes, plus any time it took me there to explain that to you, which wasn't much. So let's give this one more stir. It's actually a little bit dry still. We put a cup in there. I'm going to add just another quarter of a cup, and hope I'm not overdoing it. Alright, let's stir that up a little bit. And since we didn't get that right the first 2 times, we need to let that sit for another 2 minutes. So I'm going to let that sit for 2 minutes and I'll be right back. Alright, let's see what we got. I think the reason that water calculation was so far off was because I actually got a lot more on the trays by combining the noodles and therefore with more on the trays, you're going to need more water. Because you'll see that this is a lot more than what I normally get in one of my milk pouches. I mean, that is a massive meal. Check that out. Smells delicious. And that's about the right consistency too. Alright, let's dig in, see what it tastes like. Oh man. That is full of great flavor. I really like that. That cream of mushroom soup made some beautiful flavor in that. You can taste the mushroom too. That's a big chunk of chicken there. I want to see how that big chunk came back. Oh yeah, beautifully. I was kind of worried about that because I didn't shred the chicken, being as they were tender, chicken tenderloins. Normally I would have used breast and shredded that. But those chunks have come out pretty well. Let me see about this. What do you think? That is gorgeous. Bacon bits in there. Oh yeah, I'm really enjoying this. thinking that this is a great recipe. With the bacon and the mushroom, chicken. But I like peas. So I think if I was to change anything on this, I would add either a can or a pound of green sweet peas to that. That would just give it that extra kick and just finish it off. Oh yeah, finger licking. That is good. I really enjoyed that. So, let's review. What would I do different? I think I would add peas. And I would use, cook my breast in the slow cooker same way we did the tenderloins, but I'd pull those breasts out and shred them just to aid in the rehydrating process. The other viewer that suggested adding the noodles was a great idea. Number one, allowed me to get a much bigger meal out of that and still use only 3 trays. And number two, it's so much easier to prep and rehydrate. So, top notch to all of you guys. I would like to again say my special thanks to Mike from Chicago. A great recipe. Thank you for sharing. If anybody else out there has recipe ideas, excuse me, go to my, click my name there on YouTube, go to my YouTube page and about, and my email address is there. Excuse me, to say burping is a compliment for good food. That was good. So click my name there and shoot me off an email. I prefer an email rather than a comment because comments get buried. I get so many of them. But if I have an email, I can put a folder on my desktop and suggested recipes from viewers and drop your email in there and always go back there for some inspiration. So thank you again, Mike from Chicago. A great recipe. I really enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you next time.